We're going to talk about what empowers you and how you can lead team building sessions within your own organization to form that connection. It's really, really about making connections here, everybody. So let's get to it, everyone. Let's share our inspirations of team building. So I've heard a couple different quotes about leadership and team building, that everyone has leadership qualities, and I do agree with that. And then I also read a quote about not everyone has to be a leader. And I do agree with that, because if we have leaders, we need followers. Being a follower is not a negative thing. I think that's where we don't like that phrase. But when we look at the whole thing, I don't want to lead all the time. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'm like, no, just someone else take the reins, please. So sometimes I'm not a leader. If you're a leader or a follower, they both have their strengths. And that's what we're going to talk about, is strengths in team building. Because I think we all know that we never leave this field of early childhood because of the children. And we also don't leave it just because of wage. It's never just one factor why we get frustrated in our field. What I find is the biggest factor in whether you feel successful as an educator or not is team. The team you work with, the leaders in your program, the support that you receive. This is what I call the make it or break it, is if you don't feel supported by your colleagues or by your leadership team, whether it's your assistant director, your owner, then that's really going to impact our practices and what we do with the children, because we don't feel that appreciation. So this is why we need to all take the responsibility of creating a cohesive and positive work culture. So this is my first recommendation. No matter what your role is, start learning more about your coworkers on a personal level. Connect professionally and connect personally. Know about what your interest of your colleague is like, so you can have those conversations and you can integrate those into your program. You can just, build that relationship of trust. Ask them, what's their knowledge base and what can you share? And they might be brand new to the field. They might have some amazing ideas, or they might have 20, 30 years of experience in the field, and they have some really resourceful tips and strategies. But we really need to work on each other's strengths. And we can only do that when we know what each other's strengths are. So we stop looking at the deficits and what our colleagues can't do, and we start looking at what everyone can do. Does this sound familiar? Because we do this with children, but I find we don't do it with adults. So your first team building challenge here, get to know your coworkers. Now, if you're a day home educator, you might be saying to yourself, well, I work by myself. So get to know the other day home educators in your community. I'm sure you're not the only one. Reach out to other towns, other communities, other neighborhoods, and connect, because we all want to feel supported. We all want to feel connected. We don't leave this task up to owners or directors. It would be great to have that support. So if you are an owner or director, support your team. Reach out no matter what your position. It's our responsibility to learn about our coworkers and focus on each other's strengths. For the next month, I encourage you to learn more about your coworkers, learn about their interests, learn about some traditions that their family celebrates, learn about what they enjoy doing over summer holidays, who's in their family, what was the best experience in their life, what motivated them to become an educator. Get to know each other. We work with each other for hours and hours, and we probably see our coworkers longer than we do our own family in terms of waking hours. Make sure you connect. That's your first challenge, is connection challenge. And that is, my friends, team building. That is absolutely team building. So what do you think? What are your most memorable team building experiences? The best one for me was just sticky notes. Honestly, it was my second year teaching, and we got these sticky notes from our director. And they were just random, but they were very specific. And that made the world of difference. That was the most impactful thing. And then another thing that I did with an organization is paint night. Okay, that was super fun. And I can't paint. I'm not creative. But oh my goodness, they're like, oh, this is so beautiful. And I'm just splatting colors all over the place. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, I have no clue. But that was really fun. There was no pressure. And it was nice to see our coworkers in a different perspective, right? See more of their personal side instead of always doing the professionalism. We can see them on a more personal level. So those were my two biggest memories of team building. I'd love to hear from you what you think inspires a strong, connected team. Let's focus on our teams, everyone. It's time for us to work together.